because we're eager to create a smarter, safer, cleaner world. And we can't wait to solve our biggest challenges across the globe.
And we are go for ALS. The Space Launch System is now counting down to liftoff of Orion on its maiden voyage to the moon. Launch team can no longer recycle the count. Sound suppressor water now flowing under the ML. And here we go. Hydrogen burn-off igniters initiated. 3, 2, 1. And liftoff of Artemis 1. We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
Now the core stage continues to power the flight of Orion. We have core stage main engine cutoff. It commits us to a lunar trajectory. With the Earth in the background and the moon is our destination, Artemis generation, we are going.
Orion spacecraft bringing its 25-and-a-half-day mission to an end. Splashdown. The latest chapter of NASA's journey to the moon comes to a close. Orion, back on Earth.
With every advancement this industry makes, the limits of technology move forward. So we forge ahead. With every barrier we collectively break, there's another one waiting beyond. So we push further. With every new possibility we discover, we uncover new ways of defining the future. So we all look deeper. We aren't content just knowing what is. We want to realize what's next. Because what's next is how our organizations fuel innovation. It's how we drive performance and how we power revolutionary ideas. For every groundbreaking technology, we look for new barriers to shatter, new limits to push, and new futures to unearth. Our industry lives for what's next. Because what's next, you wouldn't want to miss.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, will you please stand as we prepare for the national anthem sung by KSC Strategy and Integration Manager Susie Cunningham, with the presentation of colors by Patrick Space Force Base Honor Guard.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Patrick Space Force Base Honor Guard, and Susie Cunningham for tonight's national anthem, and also to Carol Stein for playing during the reception. It was all just wonderful. Thank you very much. I'm so glad this type is big because I had time for a couple of cocktails before we got here. It's important. Welcome to the 2023 United States, no, that's not good. Where's my light? Oh, there it is. United States Astronaut Hall of Fame Induction Gala. It is an honor to be here to celebrate these two you guys can sit down. You can stand for me if you want, but, which is nice, but go ahead and sit down. To celebrate these two distinguished gentlemen as the newest inductees into the prestigious United States Astronaut Hall of Fame. You know, my wife said to me as we were getting ready today, she goes, you know, you've been doing the induction and the gala for so many years now that the inductees are younger than you are now. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, yeah. Tonight's gala is presented by the Astronaut Scholarship Foundation in conjunction with Delaware North Companies and the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. In a matter of minutes, some of America's most esteemed astronauts will enter and join this audience of brilliant astronaut scholars, world-class business leaders, and incredibly generous supporters, as together we embark on a very special mission tonight. Support the Astronaut Scholarship Foundation. As any astronaut can tell you, it takes a village to ensure a successful mission. Each of us here tonight has a unique and integral role. For the past 39 years, wow, you realize that means next year, if my math is right, it's 40? 40 years. That'll be a big anniversary. The Astronaut Scholarship Foundation has pooled the resources represented in this room to inspire and empower tomorrow's leaders in science, technology, engineering, and math. In doing so, we are strengthening this nation's global competitiveness, and that, my friends, is a very special mission indeed. Please give yourselves a round of applause. And now, please join me in welcoming members of the U.S. Astronaut Hall of Fame. Gemini and Apollo astronaut Tom Stafford. Apollo astronaut Rusty Schweikert. Skylab astronaut Joe Kerwin, accompanied by his daughter Joanna. Shuttle astronaut and ASF Board of Director Dan Brandenstein. Shuttle astronaut and ASF Board of Trustee Robert Hoot Gibson and shuttle astronaut Ray Seddon. Shuttle astronaut Dave Liestma. Shuttle astronaut Kathy Sullivan. Shuttle astronaut Lauren Shriver. Shuttle astronaut Charlie Bolden, accompanied by his wife, Jackie. No, Jackie's not with him. Ah. She turned you down again, huh? I knew it. I knew it. Shuttle astronaut John Blaha, accompanied by his wife, Brenda, we think. No. You and Bolden sitting together tonight? Okay. Shuttle astronaut and ASF board chairman Kurt Brown, accompanied by his wife Mary. You too, huh? Shuttle astronaut John Grunsfeld. Shuttle astronaut Michael Lopez Alegria. Shuttle astronaut and ASF Board of Director Janet Cavandi, accompanied by her son Will. No. No Will either. I give up. Scott Kelly, accompanied by his wife Amiko. I'm just reading what it says, you know? Shuttle astronaut and ASF Board of Director Chris Ferguson. At this time, we would also like to recognize the astronauts in attendance. Please welcome the following Space Shuttle astronauts. John David Bartow, accompanied by his wife Donna. Katie Coleman. Kay Heyer. Rick Mastracchio, accompanied by his wife Candy. Mike Fossum. Greg Johnson. Garrett Reisman. Ron Guerin. Karen Nyberg. Tony Antonelli. That's my paisan, Antonelli. Make sure you shout out for him. Also with us tonight is Canadian Space Agency astronaut and Governor General of Canada, Julie Payette. Julie. Thank you all for being here with us. In addition, we have some special guests with us this evening. Please welcome Director of NASA's John F. Kennedy Space Center, Janet Petro. Janet, where are you? There she is. Deputy Director of NASA's John F. Kennedy Space Center, Kelvin Manning. Kelvin. We are also honored to have some family members of some very esteemed U.S. Hall of Fame astronauts. Please welcome ASF Board of Trustee Patty Carpenter, representing her late husband, Mercury astronaut, and ASF founder Scott Carpenter. Patty? ASF Board of Director Rick Armstrong, representing his late dad, Gemini and Apollo astronaut Neil Armstrong. Rick. Susan Crippen, representing her father, Smeet and Space Shuttle astronaut Bob Crippen. Eve Garriott, representing her late husband, Skylab and Shuttle astronaut, and former ASF chairman, Owen Garriott. Jeff Carr, representing his late father, Skylab astronaut, Jerry Carr. Marie Fullerton, representing her late husband, Shuttle astronaut, Gordon Fullerton. Thank you all for being here this evening and for representing the legacy of those brave pioneers who wrote the history of space exploration. Now, the moment we have all been waiting for. At this time, we would like to recognize the 2023 U.S. Astronaut Hall of Fame inductees. Ladies and gentlemen, accompanied by his son Brian, please welcome 2023 inductee Roy Bridges. He served as the command pilot for STS-51F, former director of NASA's John F. Kennedy Space Center and Langley Research Center. As a pilot, test pilot, and astronaut, he flew 4,460 hours in a variety of aircraft. After leaving NASA, he worked with Northrop Grumman as their Technology Services Director before retiring in 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 U.S. Astronaut Hall of Fame inductee, Roy Bridges. Ladies and gentlemen, accompanied by his wife, former Congresswoman Gabby Giffords, please welcome 2023 inductee, Senator Mark Kelly. He served as pilot for STS-108 and STS-121. He served as commander on STS-124 and STS-134. He has logged more than 54 days in space. In 2020, he became the United States Ambassador of Arizona. Ladies and gentlemen, 2023, what did I say, ambassador? I gave you an ambassadorship? That's even better than a senator, isn't it? Senator from Arizona. Ladies and gentlemen, 2023 U.S. Astronaut Hall of Fame inductee, Mark Kelly. Now it is my pleasure to welcome the next presenter for this evening's program. He is a man that wears many hats. While he no longer wears a space helmet, today he does wear the chairman's hat for the Astronaut Scholarship Foundation. Please join me in welcoming to the stage USF's chairman and chairman, Kurt Brown.
Well, that's a hard act to follow, but it's an act, just so you know. What a crowd. Thank you guys for being with us tonight. It's a wonderful event, and I'm so proud to share our heroes with all of you. So I hope you have a great time tonight. But first of all, ladies and gentlemen, grab your champagne glasses, okay? They should be on your table. For some of those older astronauts, I'll give them a few more minutes. Where's Rusty at? Where's Rusty at? There. Okay, please raise your glasses to salute our newest class of U.S. Astronaut Hall of Fame inductees, Roy Bridges and Ambassador Mark Kelly. Cheers. Now it's my pleasure to welcome to the podium the leader of an organization that I'm very, very proud of, the Astronaut Scholarship Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, ASF's President and CEO, Carolyn Schumacher.
Lots of things. It's really grand music there. It is the coronation day, right? I thought I was getting a crown. It's all good, it's all good. All right, well, look at us, we're here, we made it. It's a very long day, but we're here. Thank you so much, Kurt. Always a great toast. It's an honor to be here with everyone tonight, and we're celebrating our inductees and to share how important, of course, the mission of ASF is. We were founded nearly 40 years ago, as John mentioned, by the Mercury 7 astronauts. Their vision was very profound, and we are very proud that we're fulfilling that today. We're fueling the innovators of tomorrow with our astronaut scholars. And I encourage all of you to meet our scholars that are with us today. We have 20 astronaut scholars. And think for a moment and stop and reflect on the great nation, what we've already accomplished as a great nation and how much we'll accomplish going forward with these scholars. Our future is in good hands, I promise. Kind of skipping around here, sorry. I don't always follow the script that's on here. So I want to go ahead and congratulate Roy and Mark. It was a great morning. The ceremony was flawless. Thank you very much, Howard, for doing that. Everyone said, good job, Caroline. I was like, yeah, it was great. So let's just hope tonight goes as well. Fingers crossed. I'd like to highlight a special group of guests with us this evening, those scholars. So I'm going to ask all of our scholars to stand. And later this evening, you're actually going to hear from one of our astronaut scholars, Zach Schlamowitz. I'm sorry you got put at the principal's table with the chairman. Stay on good behavior. You got to hang in there till the end of the night. No open bar for you. And so, okay, here we go. Where are we now? Tonight's celebration is a collaboration of efforts between ASF, NASA, Kennedy Space Center, and Delaware North. Janet and Kelvin, thank you so much for your continued support. We very much appreciate you being here as well. And Howard and all of the Delaware North team, we meet like every month for all year long to talk about this day. And so thank you very much. Your team does a great job. This is a beautiful setting. Thank you for the rocket. You saved me on some scenery and backdrop. Appreciate that. And Theron cannot be with us tonight, but Theron has begged me to use this screen every year, and I am so proud I'm finally using it. So for those in the room with DNC, you know what that's about. And now I want to thank all of our sponsors. We couldn't make this event happen if we didn't have our sponsors that support us and contribute so generously to this event. So our Hall of Fame sponsor, Valkyrie Intelligence. Induction sponsors, Amentum and Jacobs. Gala sponsors, ASRC Federal, Axient, Boeing, and BRPH. Gala sponsors, Deloitte, Girl Scouts of Citrus Council, Griffin Communications, KBR, and ULA. I'm going to give a little shout out to my Girl Scout group. Everyone's always like, ooh, we got Girl Scout cookies in the swag bag. ASF just gave you an umbrella because it always rains on AHOF, but so you're welcome for the Girl Scout cookies, but they also brought a special guest. We do have a Girl Scout with us, Jessie McDaniel. She came straight over here from a rocketry competition. And our council, the Citrus Council, is so special because they promote STEM very heavily with their girls. So thank you so much, Marianne. You're doing a great job of inspiring the future. Rocket sponsor, Copper Moon Coffee. You need that tomorrow after partying today. Sounds good. Digital sponsor, Sierra Space. And thank you to our in-kind sponsors, who's always excited to see rocket science wine on your tables from Codwell Vineyard. No John Caldwell this year. Quantum Leap Winery donated the white wine on your tables tonight. That's a local winery in Orlando. And then, of course, we want to thank our wonderful photographers, Stephen Torres and Emily Jordan, our little paparazzi we bring along. And Carol Stein, thank you so much for playing for us this evening, and Susie for singing the national anthem. And a special thanks to Chris Callie for donating the breathtaking Earthrise canvas signed by our astronauts in attendance this weekend. Now, I love that, induction sponsors, I am so sorry, I skipped a line. Induction sponsors Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman. In fact, let's do another round of applause, because that one's on me. Goodness gracious. They even hire my scholars, and I can't even mention them in the program. That's terrible. Oh boy, I'm not going to relive that one. No. Now, I would be remiss. I get introduced as the leader of ASF, but our true leadership is our board of directors and our board of trustees. So I am very blessed that we have many of those members in attendance. Could my board of directors and board of trustees please stand to be recognized? And I'm sure you figured this part out. My team does a much better job than me. So please give it up for the ASF team for coordinating this entire weekend. Like John Zarella, I just read the news. And the team of Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex in Delaware North, thank you so much. We're grateful for all of you. And then finally, thank you to everyone in attendance. Thank you for being here. This is an important night for ASF. It is a fundraising event for ASF. You help us fuel the future. You help us fundraise for scholarships. We will have 68 scholars this year, and we're really, really proud of that. So please remember that when you're buying your raffle tickets, visiting the pop-up store, all that good stuff. And I really do encourage you to get to know the scholars there in the room tonight. They're great ambassadors for all of the scholars that we have awarded over the years. Now, I would like to introduce our next speaker, a champion of science and innovation, Charlie Burgoyne, CEO of Valkyrie Intelligence, our Hall of Fame sponsor.
Good evening. I have a bunch of words prepared, but under the limit that I was granted, I promise. But I might just take a second and look at this incredible piece of machinery that constitutes the American experiment, and how meaningful that really is, and what a 19-year-old me would have done as first day at NASA Goddard Space Flight, studying gamma ray bursters as a young physicist, to think I'd be standing here in front of some of the most incredible people on the planet. That moment was for me. The rest is for all y'all. Thank you very much, Caroline, for a brief intro. My name is Charlie Burgoyne. I'm the founder of Valkyrie. We're an applied sciences firm based in Texas. And we think of ourselves as kind of a modern-day Bell Labs, Lincoln Labs, a firm that's the next generation reinvigorating pure science and research for the betterment of humanity, industry, and most importantly, our values. Thank you. That's very kind. Tonight you'll hear about the incredible accolades of Roy and Mark, stories of honor, courage, and truly awe-inspiring science. I encourage you to take a moment to immerse yourselves in this moment as these two gentlemen are halcyons for the dauntless American spirit. Amongst their accolades is an often unspoken one, winning the Cold War, as NASA substantively contributed towards the downfall of the Soviet Union. astronauts from Duke to Bridges, to Scott to Kelly, showed the full potential of the American experiment and drove the Soviets to bankruptcy in a futile attempt to match our accomplishments. Of all the ways in which we engaged with this adversary, the battlefields of science and space are where we earned our most convincing victories. Millions of people around the world are free, hopeful, and safe because of the people in this room, unequivocally. It is in fact empirical to state that NASA substantively tipped the geopolitical scales in the favor of the West, her resources, and most importantly, her values. As one adversary sunsets, others will rise, and today we find ourselves yet again facing formidable foes. The adversaries have evolved, but our playbook remains the same. And the formula is really quite simple. We advance science on the shoulders of our American values, and thus advance our values on the shoulders of American science. I'll say that again. We advance science on the shoulders of our American values, and thus advance our values on the shoulders of American science. This is the virtuous circle and a legacy for this institution. Valkyrie fervently believes that this responsibility is now on our shoulders. We develop science that you'll find at the Pentagon with our warfighters. You'll find our algorithms supporting medics and ambulances, environmental systems on oceanic ships. Our machine learning algorithms are in racing cars at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And by the next time we celebrate inductees, about a year from now, for this hallowed institution, Valkyrie artificial intelligence systems will be on the moon as part of the Lone Star Lunar operation run by Chris Stott, an incredible organization. If you haven't learned yet much about it, you really should dig in. It's amazing. We're extremely proud of that. Make absolutely no mistake. We are living proof that the next generation continues the fight for excellence in science on behalf of the West and the values that we all espouse tonight. That virtuous circle continues. Our resolve will not be deterred, and our charter will never yield. I am profoundly honored to share an evening with these two men, their families, and those who have supported this great American institution. I'm honored that Senator Kelly continues to pursue this mission in the next space, the next shape it takes. I'm honored that in a small similitude, Senator Kelly started his career of uplifting American values and proliferating them throughout the world that desperately needs them at NASA and eventually on behalf of the United States government. It's a roadmap that I too am chartering for myself. In a couple of days' time, I'll find myself in the middle of the Middle East on behalf of the United States Special Operations Command, supporting some of our most powerful and brave fighters with the application of applied science. I look to role models like Mark and others as truly embodying what it means to be a free-thinking, science-based American. I'm very, very proud to be in the same room as those individuals. So, thank you very much for this humbling experience, specifically the Astronaut Scholarship Foundation. May you all live with purpose, be unapologetically bold, and together do great things. Good night.
If anyone is looking for an ambassadorship, see me at the after party. I apparently have that ability. I would like to introduce our next guest speaker for the evening. Please welcome Howard Schwartz, Vice President of Guest Engagement and Operations at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. Howard, there he is.
Well, thank you, John. I am a little disappointed. Maybe a junior ambassadorship or something. It could have been something, right? So for all of you that know kind of Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, you probably know Theron Protze, our COO. And he's apologizes for not being able to be here tonight. Right now, he is drowning his sorrows on the Lido deck with Captain Steubing, so he's having a grand old time. Well, I just want to say good evening and welcome everybody here to the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, Apollo Saturn V Center. And thank you for joining us. We are very honored to be able to welcome the newest inductees into the U.S. Astronauts Hall of Fame, Senator Mark Kelly and Roy Bridges. At Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, our goal is to tell the NASA story in the most compelling and immersive way possible. An inspiring part of that story is the astronauts. Through the astronaut experiences, we all have a chance to appreciate and understand space from an insider. Those stories are brought to life here at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex. In our continued commitment to inspire the next generation of space explorers, we recently created Gateway, the Deep Space Launch Complex, which was introduced last June. This is where we take NASA and NASA space partners and show everybody what's going on now and what's going to be happening in the future. And then we invite guests to take one of 4 different journeys into space to really explore what could be coming in the not too far off future. There are many more innovations on the way here at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex, so we're very excited about the future. And now I'd like to take a moment to recognize the Astronaut Scholarship Foundation. They are a true partner, and we very much respect that. I want to take a moment just to thank the Board of Directors, the Board Chairman, Mr. Brown, Executive Director Caroline Schumacher, and all of her team and the volunteers that have helped put on both the induction and the gala tonight. Delaware North is very proud to be a sponsor of the Astronaut Scholarship Foundation Gala. We want to thank you again and very much congratulations to this year's inductees. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you enjoy your dinner, if you had not had the opportunity to check out the merchandise table, get your raffle tickets, or check out the online auction items yet, please do so. You can scan the QR code at your table for the online auction. For our companies in the room, we have a great opportunity for you to win a virtual professional development session with Space Shuttle astronaut Steve Smith. Please note, the auction closes on Monday, May 15th. Tonight's dinner, a little different this year. It's a buffet, so please wait for an ASF team member to come to your table to send you to the buffet line. So enjoy